Hi, I'm Chris Stokes, personal trainer in Amarillo for almost 2 decades now. I've worked with many people from many different walks of life through the years, but today I want to address with you an issue that usually presents itself pretty quickly whenever a client's starting out with me. Frequently, after attending a seminar or beginning one of my programs, a customer or client begins to recognize the hidden sugars in foods and comes to realize that sugar is literally everywhere. This often causes a bit of panic, as they might have heard me say something to the effect of, simple sugar intake can cripple the body's potential for fat release. That really is true, but it doesn't mean that you can never eat any sugar. I know many of you are looking for clear-cut guidelines, and you've looked, you like a definitive list of what's ideal and what's forbidden, but unfortunately, or perhaps fortunately, there's a lot of acceptable ground in between ideal and forbidden. Instead of trying to seek out a flawless plan, try to develop an understanding of how nutrients affect your body, and over time you'll really be able to refine the specifics of the program that works best for you. So why can't I just make it black and white? Why can't I just say this is good and that's bad? Well, first of all, as your metabolism develops and your daily energy expenditure is increased, you become more likely to burn glucose or simple sugars as fuel. So a lean athlete can usually get away with consuming a fair amount of sugar and power bars, sports drinks, and even a Snickers bar here and there. And that might contribute to their energy reserves. But for someone who's not presently living in a lean body, those foods can wreak havoc on a fat loss program. And for those who are fit but perhaps in more of a maintenance mode, their bodies can handle small amounts, but they really may have to watch out not to begin to work backwards from the success that they've already achieved. The challenge becomes not as much from ingestion of 2 grams of sugar here and 3 grams there, but rather when simple sugar is the primary ingredient in food. Eat a cookie or a candy bar and you can be certain that your blood sugar is going to escalate significantly, which is going to require an elevation in insulin production, and that's where fat reduction becomes compromised. On the other hand, if you have some sort of meatballs or a meatloaf made with ground turkey meat or something of that nature and flavor it with some sort of sauce that contains primarily tomatoes but has 2 grams of corn syrup or sugar, while that may not be the ideal choice, the abundant protein will slow down the release of the sugars, and so those 2 grams really shouldn't cause any reason for panic as a component of a supportive meal. In answer to the question, how much sugar is okay, I'm really forced to respond, there isn't a clear-cut answer. Much depends on the goal, on the present metabolism, on activity level, on overall food intake, on insulin sensitivity, and on blood sugar levels of each and every individual. Fruits are high in fructose. That doesn't mean never eat fruit. A handful of berries mixed into some fat-free cottage cheese can add some fiber and antioxidants, and the cottage cheese slows the rush of sugar through the wall of the digestive tract. A fruit salad, on the other hand, can result in a significant insulin burst, as can a very ripe banana fruit or fruit juice. Fruit juice often has more sugar than the high sugar soda products, and without the pulp it also has next to no beneficial nutrient content. If fat loss is the true goal, use fruit sparingly and always consume fruits earlier in the day and with protein. If you're going to drink juice, juice your own. If your diet consists of a fair amount of fruit juice, sugared and cola, conventional snack foods, you're absolutely going to limit fat release. The trick is simply do better than you've been doing, and gradually you'll start to see improvement. For someone who's on a candy bar and fruit juice blood sugar roller coaster, switching to meals that contain 2 to 3 grams of sugar accompanied by protein and fiber can have a dramatic result. On the other hand, sometimes, take a bodybuilder for example, seeking every edge possible finds it best to completely eliminate all sugars, including lactose found in dairy products, in the weeks prior to a competition. As a rule, we would avoid foods that contain sugar as their primary ingredient. In other words, if a form of sugar, there are so many of them, is listed in the first 3 ingredients of a product, put it back. If a form of sugar is listed in the first 5, consider it very carefully whether this purchase is going to help you or hurt you in actually reaching and attaining your goals. One final note. For most people, it's actually easier to avoid sugars almost completely than to cheat periodically by sneaking cookies or candy, since that spike in blood sugar and residual insulin rush can facilitate sugar cravings in the near future. If you know that you have a sugar addiction to certain foods or a mental addiction to sugar-filled foods or drinks, it really may be better to find the strength to eliminate those triggers once and for all, rather than to cut back on them. Our willpower only goes so far, and when we take something away that we really want, but then give it back in small amounts, the mind and the body they really can't handle that. The pursuit of better health and better body image should be based on progress rather than striving for perfection. And recognition of hidden sugars in foods will allow you to begin to really make better choices until a little at a time you hone in on some new supportive nutritional habits that lead you to your ultimate physical goals. You might even begin to notice that over that period of time, your body doesn't really want those sugars anymore. And often people who have eliminated certain foods or drinks from their diets notice that they do begin to, when they do begin to reindulge and put those foods back in, it makes them not feel very well, and they really just don't want it. The body's going to reject things that it doesn't find beneficial and helpful to its overall goal of thriving. So if you'd like more information about sugar, more help with your nutrition plan, some private instruction on how to add healthful exercise, nutrition, and lifestyle modifications into your life, our team would be happy to help you here at Custom Fitness. You can reach us at 322-3188.